Okay? It's 4 in the morning. It's spring break. Quite a few years ago, I had my kids with me and all their friends, several of their friends in the house, and we were all set to go skiing up in Lake Tahoe. No, sorry, that was Disneyland. Wrong trip. We were all set to go to Disneyland to April, several years back. And I wake up and it's raining out like cats and dogs. And I don't know, I picked up my pendulum and I go, is it safe for me to drive the kids and I to Disneyland? And the pendulum said no. No. And now I had promised I was going to listen. Right? So here I was, about to listen, not to listen, and it says no. So I just do it a few times, and it keeps saying no, and I try. You know how it is. You try to get spirit to change their mind. And I have to tell you something. I teach dowsing that you're never supposed to ask more than once. It's a little annoying to whoever's listening to you, right? You know, honestly, if you're not going to listen, they don't want to give it to you. So now it's 5 o'clock, and I'm doing the pendulum. Lock my bathroom door because kids are pounding on it. You know, where you go. You know kids. You're supposed to go to Disneyland. It's a vacation of a lifetime, right? Okay. So I'm sitting in the bathroom, door locked, with my pendulum, trying to figure it out. Am I going to get in a car accident? No. Is it whatever? I couldn't figure it out. And I'm really upset with myself because my confidence in saying no to my kids was eroding. Okay, now you've seen it. Confidence in saying no to being treated by things you don't want to say, or having to wear a mask, or not want, whatever your thing is, confidence in it. Well, my confidence was dwindling. Okay, I was in a bathroom, okay? My confidence is dwindling, the kids are pounding on the door, the pendulum still says no. So I just tell them we're going to go tomorrow. So I go outside, quite upset, it's now 2 o'clock, and I go outside, and I look, and I lived in the hills in Marin County, and my house was on a hill, and behind my house was a huge hill, and there was a house up here that the hill was keeping up. So I look outside, and all the retaining wall, the wood retaining walls are coming down. They're now instead of being straight, they're like this. The house up there looked like this. And I am freaking out, because of course now I know why my pendulum said no. It said don't go, because if I had not been in that house when these walls came down, the walls of Jericho coming down, the house on the hill would have been in my pool, and the whole hill would have been in my pool as well. So because I was home, I was able to get my gardener and his crew to work for 3 or 4 days straight in that rain to hold up my hillside. One time I listened, and the other time I didn't. So when I listened, I began to get a clear understanding that there are times you should listen to your gut, right? Listen to that intuition. Even if you can't confirm it, and that's the challenge. Now, I do readings for people, and I love my readings. They're like soul awakening. I get visions in the readings. But it took me a long time to trust the readings, because I'd see something like, I'd see a little choo-choo train at the beginning going by with a seashell on it. And that seashell, what I had to learn was to shout out the word seashell. Okay? In the beginning, I didn't even know what that meant, but I'd say seashell. And they go, how do you know? Okay, so learning, really, seriously, learning the art of how to receive information. Now that was on a choo-choo train. My guidance has gotten a little better now. I don't necessarily need a choo-choo train. But I teach lots of tools how you can dive into your intuition and trust it, and how you use your intuitive skills. Some of you may be, raise your hand if you think you're clairvoyant. So clairvoyant, you can see things, you can see pictures. I am not clairvoyant, even though I am a visionary artist. And it's so strange. I'll go to bed, I'll see pictures of beings that tell me they want me to paint them. But I don't see necessarily beings walking around or approaching me all that much. People say, well, what's my guide's name, or what do they look like? I feel them. I can tell you what they feel like. Sometimes I can kind of tell you what they smell like, or what the energy is like. Energy. So, I'm talking about all these senses that we have. And these senses are our intuitive gifts, and it's our intuition. That is what came with us to help us survive and thrive during these times. So I know, feeling into the energy, most of you have arrived on this planet eons ago. Hundreds of thousands, millions, or even billions of years ago, you came down to this planet. You came down to this planet because a call went out that planet Earth was going to need you in 2022 or 2020. Right now, you are needed. And that's what the call went out. They sent you, you came down here. You didn't come down here defenseless. You came down here with a clipboard. I like to call it a clipboard. Your little celestial clipboard, your toolbox. If they give you a clipboard when you get down here, this clipboard has everything you need to thrive and survive. I mean, seriously, you have to think of it in how do I access my skills? How do I learn to trust my intuition and my gut? It's a process. But process number one is to know that you're in the right place, you're actually in the right time zone, you're in the right dimension, the right lifetime. This time, you're not in the wrong time and place. You're here because you were programmed, you made a commitment to be here now. And you came here now with a whole assortment of skills to manage, to thrive, to do what you came here to do your mission, to do your purpose, to serve in some way, shape, or form, to be part of the solution and not the problem. So 2 years ago, 2020, in June, when I realized this book, I realized it was going to be a bigger book than I thought. Like, I was hot in the middle of a hot mess, a period where you just want to be like a little annoying, right? Annoying to people, bitchy, right? So I tried to be a little bitchy and annoying. I just wanted to be in a bad mood for some reason. And I tried really hard. And I was thinking about this one concept, that when I went on the web and I put Joan of Angels in, there's no other Joan of Angels. Now there's the Joan of Angels, the Joan of Arc, all these Joans, but I'm the only actually Joan of Angels, so there was no competition. So I was also kind of entertaining myself by going, I'm the only Joan of Angels, you can find me. If you remember my name, you can find me. And then I heard that voice again, right here. It's where my guides talk to me. It was like, it was a strong one. I don't know if your guides talk to you like that, but mine do. So this was really a big talking to. It was like, hey, Joan, do you remember when we told you to paint 33 angels in 30 days? I went, yes. And remember that feeling you had that either you said yes and more would be shown, or like you could say no, because it was really too much for me to do all that art. Remember that? Remember when you said yes, and then we gave you more things to do, and then you got named Joan of Angels, we gave you more things. You remember all that, right? What was the key ingredient? And it really took me back. Well, it was the fact that I was saying yes, right? Yes, because what would you do if you had 33 canvases in your house of oil painting and you don't know what to do with it next? You're not a painter. So yes, I kept saying yes, show me what to do with this. Show me how to be. Show me how to do my purpose. And so they would give me more and more information. And they explained to me that I was painting these angels because these angels wanted humanity to see them. They wanted each and every one of you to feel their energy on a canvas so that you can literally feel a 5th or 10th or 12th dimensional being in a physical form and see them and know and feel their energy. And I was painting art that would talk to people. People would come over and they would see a painting like this, and then they couldn't move until they took the painting home. The painting would call the people. The painting would have messages for people. That if you were sensitive, you could feel that. So they said, remember that, Joan? How good that felt? All those yeses? Well, here you are, I'm trying to find the exact words they put it. Well, the bottom line was this: either you use it or you lose it. Either you use the gifts you've been given, or they're going to be taken from you. Now, I'm not here to tell you your gifts are going to be taken, but I'm here to tell you that you have gifts that were on that clipboard. They're in your toolkit. So you didn't come down here defenseless to do your mission. Well, what is your mission? Well, part of our mission right now is to wake up ourselves so that we can actually take back our freedoms and stand in our power, in our truth, to be humans who can live our fully expressed lives. Our optimum life, live our purpose on our life. Give, be generous, help see a planet that people are all awake. People are alive. People are happy. People are focused. People have a good life, a miraculous life. And so that's what I do. That's my mission. And there was this voice in my head going, well, you either use it or you're going to lose it. And I don't know, did anyone up here ever hear anything like that? Am I the only one? All right, so I know. So being on purpose, so your intuition is the best gift you have, because it will help you should you trust your gut. Now, trusting your gut's really important. Extremely important for those critical moments, especially if you make a wrong turn. If you make a wrong turn and your gut starts to, your hair on your arms starts to go up and you're like going, oh my God, you don't want to consult this person in this box over here and say, what do you think is going on here? And they'll look, the logical mind will say, it looks fine. Nothing. And this part of you is going, oh my God, my antenna is going off the chart. I'm here to tell you that you need to listen to your antenna. All right? There are no truth signals out there that's going to tell you the truth about anything that has to do with your well-being. The only one who is going to help you with your well-being, who is going to help you stand up in your power, your truth, your wellness, we can take our planet back so we can all, live our lives with freedom. It's you. So it's you and your guides, you and that internal voice, you and your gut. So this is critical to learn how to listen. Because there are times you won't have time to go and consult the logical mind, or go and consult your parent, or your spouse, or all those people who think you're nuts anyway. You don't have time to consult people who are on a different frequency than you. Which gets me to the next level. I don't even know how long I have. Oh, I have a lot of time. Discernment scale. So part of intuition is learning how to discern. Discern is such a big word these days. But discernment is really the art of knowing how you feel about things. And if it's good for you or not. And if it's right. So I do it so easily. I have a discernment scale that I use all the time. I teach all my clients in our sessions how to use it, because it's a language thing. So I'm going to teach you this right now. Close your eyes for a minute. Imagine a horizontal line, and on the left is 0, and on the right is 10, and we got a clock hand. So it could go from 0, which is like dead, 5, 10, which is fully awake, alive, empowered, raring to go, speaking your truth, doing you. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your level of personal vitality? Your kind of energy level, where would you put it on a scale of 1 to 10? And keeping your eyes shut, raise your hand if you're at a 8 to a 10. And if you're at a 5 to 8. And raise your hand if you're lower than a 5. Always good to know. So now, I was telling you about my high vibrational art. You guys are in for a treat because I'm able to pick it up tonight. I'm going to bring some of my art tomorrow to show you. I have these scarves that are angelic art, and what they are frequency holders. So the way we work with frequency holders, and I can't show you right now, but I can actually muscle test people with these scarves and art to show you what happens. But what I want you to do is to imagine that you're going to turn up that dial now. So I want you to imagine that you have a dial right here. And this dial is your power. How how powerful you are. So going back to that scale on a 1 to 10, let's look at how powerful you're feeling energetically in today's world. Like if you're a character in the middle of this book I'm reading, right? This book we're all in. Like how powerful is your character? 5, 3, not like I was a few years ago when I wanted to lay down and die, like how powerful is your character? And if your take a look at it, okay? I don't need to know. But if your character, let's do this. Couple people here, we want to turn up your character, your character's power. So what are we going to do? Let's do this. And this is what we can do every day. You look at the news. God, never look at the news. Shut off the news.
Exactly.
Right? Do not look at the news. If you're going to leave your house, you should put on a bodysuit of super protection. You should put on your superwoman cape. And you should raise your angel wings and keep them really high so people will know that there's an angel in the house. Or you will know, and you won't forget when you're out in the world when they're crazy. The goal is to be empowered in whatever you are doing. So now, knowing where you are now on a scale of 1 to 10, let's all turn up that dial. Okay, let's all turn up that dial. And as we're turning up that dial to a 10, I want you to see yourself fully empowered. Fully empowered so that you can say yes when you mean yes, you say no when you mean no. Fully empowered so that you can feel that no matter what, you're going to be okay. Or that no matter what, you're going to trust what's going on for you. Or that voice within. Fully empowered that when your gut speaks, you know that it's time to act. Or when your gut speaks, you know how the decision, am I going to turn right or am I going to turn left? So that you have learned to know that you have an ally. You see, your ally knows exactly what's on this clipboard, okay? Knows that you have your intuitive skills, that you may be clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, everything. It knows that. It wants you to start to go within and begin to trust that and learn how to use that, to start to let go of what stands in your way. And there's a lot of reasons you don't use your intuition. Heck, it's scary. But I went out on a search after that whole, tax thing that I lost. Could not believe that. And I was so stupid. You know how you say, oh my God, right? So I said, I got to see what's going on with my intuition here. And I went on a whole thing to learn how to use my gifts. Because I couldn't stand, not trusting myself. Like my daughter. My daughter wants me to be normal like everyone else. Okay? So my daughter wants me to be over here. I love my daughter. She's great for my talks. My daughter's in the box, and I'm over here. And she's struggling. How many of you struggle making decisions? Right? Well, when you use your intuition, it becomes a lot easier. So my daughter is struggling, and she sends me spreadsheets. If I do this job, benefit, pros and cons. It was horrible. And then finally, the very last page, it was like, well, pros and cons based on how I feel. So the very last thing, of course, was her feelings. And she then says to me, so Mom, what should I do? Tell me what to do. And I go, well, let me get my cards. or I got my pendulum, one of those things. And she starts yelling, Mom, I need a real decision. I need a real concrete decision. You've got to give it to me. Because she's in here. And I'm in here. I'm in the decision of the heart. I'm in what does your soul tell you about this job? What does your heart tell you about this job? What does your knowingness tell you about your destiny? Because you see, when you can access your intuitive mind, your intuitive voice, and you learn how to access your skills, you can feel like me, like a superhero. You will know, heck, I can actually trust myself. Well, heck, I trust myself more than what I'm reading, more than what they're telling me, more than what my doctor says. I know my own body, and I'm going to take charge. Now, that doesn't mean Because honestly, it was criminal that they sent you home to wait till you got symptoms. What kind of doctoring is that? You guys need to know that your bodies are yours. Yeah, you own them. I'm sure of it. I don't own your body. You're in charge. Right? You have your own body. You can decide what you eat, and I can trust you to decide pretty well. So start paying attention to that. All right, any other last messages? So guys, I love you all. I'm so happy to be here. I hope I'm giving you an insight to your own intuition. So the bottom line, I want you to start tracking from this moment what happens when I listen to my intuition and what happens when I don't. Because it's the one I don't, okay, I swear, I think you get intuitive hits just to test you. And then when you don't, it blows up in your face and you go, I should have. Every time you get that, at some point, I'm sure God thinks that they're going to finally learn. You know, that you're going to finally get that lesson. Because that's what those lessons are for, to teach us to finally listen. So what is our path? Our path is saying yes to the messages we receive, to say yes to our destiny, to use those skills and gifts that we have, and then to do what we came here to do. You know, eons ago, so we can finally get the book finished. I always have to have a goal to where I'm going, and it's the end of the novel. No. So I love to help people. I am an oracle. I am an angel. I teach people how to remember who you are, why you're here, what your big picture is, your mission, your destiny, etc., etc., etc. But I teach it to you in a way that you get it. Now, one of my dear friends the other day, a few weeks ago, called me, and he's a client. He said, Joan, you should be mad at me. I go, why? He said, well, 3 years ago in a session, you told me to fire that person, and I didn't. He said, I think you're good, Joan. I think your advice is pretty good. I always resonate, but that didn't resonate. I didn't want to do it, so I didn't. I said, okay. He said, so about a year and a half ago, you said the same thing. Fire him. I didn't remember he hadn't. I said, fire him. He said, I ignored you. Like we ignore advice. He said, I love you, Joan. I ignored you. And then now I remember 6 weeks before I had told him to fire this guy. And I was mad at him. I got really passionate. I sent him a text. Well, what happened? And I never heard from him until this phone call. He says, he said, 6 weeks ago you told me, and I didn't fire him either. He said, 3 weeks ago he stole my YouTube channel, all my copyrights, my business, and everything. And he has the whole shebang. And he was torturing himself. But now the same day, another client of mine I had a session with said to me, she had asked me 3 years ago, was it time for her to leave her job and go on her own? And I had told her no. And it was a big thing to tell her that she wasn't ready yet. People already want to do what they want. And I worked with them. I said, let's work together till you're ready. And then we had this session, and I said, oh my God, you're ready to go on your own. But that was the difference, right? That was the difference. So I want you to listen to that voice within. Start to trust, especially this. 99% of the people believe in this. I want you to be the 1% of the people that believes in your heart, that listens to your gut and your heart. And I share this with you from this. My dad was a control freak. And he used to say, if 99% of the population believes that this is true, it has to be true. My sister and I raise our hand. But Dad, you know that that's a lie. You know that whatever we were talking about is true. He said, no, 99%, and that makes it true. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with 99% of the people who think that the 1% should do their bidding. And that's why the 1% has got to know who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is. You have to stand strong in your system and in your beliefs. Now, does that make sense? Yes. All right, so one more minute. Repeat after me. I'm intuitive. I love being intuitive. I know who I am. I'm a fully empowered, awakened, fifth dimensional human being. Thank you.
Thank you.